It is a brutally cold winter night in 1943, and snow falls relentlessly over a small, isolated village in the far north of Norway, not far from the rugged mountains surrounding Narvik. The wind sweeps through the valley like a living thing, dragging snow across rooftops, frozen roads, and the wooden fences of Frostvikl, which lies buried under layers of white silence so thick it muffles every sound and hides every shadow. From the narrow mountain road above, dark figures emerge through the storm, moving slowly but with deliberate menace, their boots crunching against the ice and snow as they descend toward the sleeping settlement. They carry rifles, but do not raise them, do not fire, and do not need to. Their presence alone announces terror. Doors splinter beneath their kicks, glass shatters, and screaming residents are dragged into the cold as the invaders claim every home in their path, marking the village as if it already belongs to them. The snow swirls around their movements, turning the night into a blur of shadows and panic. Most of the villagers are unarmed, untrained, and frozen in shock, unable to fight or flee as the invaders fan out across the streets. Yet hidden among the snow-covered homes are 5 men who have seen war, who have survived ambushes and chaos far greater than this. Recently retired, their eyes scan the approaching threat, recognizing the danger instantly, calculating what must be done, and understanding that hesitation here will cost every life in the village. As the invaders move deeper into Frostvikl, the 5 men exchange glances, silent but full of determination, knowing without words that the fate of their home rests on their shoulders alone. If they do nothing tonight, the village will vanish by morning, and the snow that now blankets the streets will soon cover nothing but ruin. Tonight, Frostvikl will either survive or be lost forever, and 5 veterans must turn fear into action, using every ounce of experience and cunning to defend the place they call home. Before we dive into the chaos unfolding in Frostvikl, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment below what would you do if your home was under attack by armed strangers. This village, small and isolated, has survived generations of harsh winters, its people bound together by necessity and tradition. Wooden homes cling to the snowy slopes, narrow streets wind between frozen fences, and smoke from chimneys drifts into the dark, frigid night, marking life in the middle of nowhere. Frostvikl is not built for war. Its residents are farmers, hunters, craftsmen, and elders who have spent their lives working the land, never imagining that one night could threaten everything they have built. Yet tonight, the storm is not the only danger. From the surrounding mountains, a group of outsiders approaches, their intentions clear: to take the village by force, to claim it as their own. As snow swirls around them, the veterans prepare to call the villagers together, to turn ordinary men into defenders, to transform fear and desperation into strategy. Every decision from this moment forward will determine who survives the night, and the village itself hangs in the balance. The invaders move quietly through the snow-covered streets of Frostvikl, their boots crunching over icy cobblestones and frozen earth. They are not careless. Each step is measured, each door broken with intent, as if rehearsed. Inside the wooden homes, frightened families huddle together, clinging to the remnants of warmth, unaware of the full scale of the threat encroaching on their lives. Windows are smashed, furniture shattered, and every sound echoes across the empty streets, swallowed partially by the storm yet amplifying fear. The veterans call the village men together, speaking quickly and quietly. They explain the plan. They will not face the invaders head-on. Frostvikl is small, yes, but every narrow alley, frozen fence, and steep slope is a weapon in their hands. The men are briefed on traps, ambush points, and how to move silently through the snow. Fear is evident in their eyes, yet the presence of the veterans instills a fragile spark of courage. Improvised traps begin to take shape. Thin wires are stretched across narrow pots. Simple snares are hidden beneath snowdrifts, and doors are barricaded with anything heavy enough to slow an intruder. Every object in the village can serve a purpose: a wooden beam, a rope, a bucket of frozen water, all tools for delay, capture, and disruption. As the invaders spread through the main street, they underestimate the depth of resistance. One by one, small disruptions appear. A snare catches a boot. A hidden tripwire sends a man sprawling into the snow. A barricaded door blocks access to an entire house. Panic begins to ripple through the attackers. though they do not yet realize how methodically the villagers are preparing. Inside one home, a veteran watches from a shadowed doorway as an invader attempts to force entry. With a subtle gesture, he signals a trap set moments ago. The intruder trips and falls into a carefully hidden pit covered with snow and wooden slats. The crash is muffled, but the impact is enough to immobilize him. Elsewhere, a small group of villagers moves silently behind snowdrifts and low walls, shadowing the invaders' movements. They carry whatever they can find: logs, shovels, heavy tools. Using the environment as their ally, the veterans guide them, timing movements perfectly, creating confusion and slow panic among the attackers. By nightfall, the invaders are still numerous, but the momentum has shifted. Frostvikl remains under their feet, yet the first sense of doubt has entered the attackers' minds. The villagers have turned the storm and the snow into weapons, and under the veterans' guidance, the village is no longer a helpless target. The silent occupation has begun, but the real fight is just starting. Night deepens over Frostvikl, and the storm rages without mercy, snow piling into drifts that block every path. The invaders, confident and numerous, push forward through the narrow streets, expecting little resistance, but the veterans have already transformed the village into a web of deception. Hidden behind snow-covered walls and beneath shadows, defenders watch and wait. Every movement is calculated, every reaction choreographed to manipulate their enemies. Suddenly, a group of defenders appears to retreat down a side alley. Backs turn to the approaching attackers. The invaders' eyes narrow, assuming victory as the villagers seemingly flee. Yet every step the defenders take is deliberate, guiding the attackers straight into pits concealed by snow, tripwires stretched across frozen pods, and wooden barricades that block and channel movement. The illusion of panic becomes a weapon. One invader steps forward confidently, following what he believes is an easy prey. His boot snaps a wire, and he crashes into a hidden pit, the snow concealing his body until ropes and planks prevent escape. Another swings around to assist, but as he moves into the trap, a hidden defender strikes from behind, driving him into the snow, immobilizing him with a calculated blow. Confusion spreads among the attackers, their numbers meaningless when every step could lead to capture. Elsewhere, defenders dart from shadows, appearing unexpectedly to strike from angles the invaders cannot anticipate. Paired with the snow and narrow streets, these sudden assaults create chaos, isolating attackers from one another and shattering their cohesion. Each captured intruder becomes a warning. Each fall into a trap a signal that the village is no longer defenseless. The storm conceals movement, masking the defenders' numbers and their positions. Another defender sprints across an open street, drawing a pair of attackers after him. The pursuers do not see the pit ahead until it is too late. The first tumbles, the second loses balance on the icy snow, and both are quickly immobilized by reinforcements emerging from hidden corners, striking them from behind. Panic begins to replace arrogance. Snow-laden rooftops and fences conceal additional defenders, who strike at isolated attackers with improvised weapon sticks, frozen buckets, and tools. Each attack is precise, controlled, exploiting hesitation and fear. The invaders try to regroup, but every move carries risk. Every street is a potential trap, and their confidence erodes with each loss. By the middle of the night, several invaders are captured, others injured or thrown into confusion, and a few attempt retreat. The veteran strategy has forced the attackers into a relentless cycle of fear, disorientation, and attrition. The village, small and seemingly powerless, is now a predator using its prey's assumptions against them. As snow continues to swirl around Frostvikl, the surviving attackers realize too late that brute force cannot dominate this place. The village has struck back, and the next phase promises an even more dangerous confrontation. The silent, cunning defense has shifted the balance, and the invaders now face a threat far greater than they ever imagined. The remaining invaders, disoriented from the earlier traps and ambushes, attempt to regroup, their formations fractured and confidence shaken. They push forward hesitantly, expecting resistance, but underestimating the cunning of the village defenders. Every corner hides a threat. Every shadow may conceal a hidden hand ready to strike. A veteran sprints across an icy street, swinging a heavy wooden plank, drawing a pair of attackers into a narrow alley. One falls into a snow-covered pit, His screams muffled by the wind, while the other freezes as another defender emerges from behind a corner, striking him with a calculated blow. The attacker's hesitation spreads like wildfire, their coordination unraveling with each encounter. Through the main square, the snow conceals dozens of defenders moving silently. Tools, frozen buckets, and iron rods become weapons in skilled hands. The invaders, armed only with what they brought, are forced to fight on terrain that favors the defenders at every step. Each street becomes a trap, each building a fortress. The veterans coordinate attacks with precision. One group feigns retreat down a narrow lane, drawing a small band of attackers toward a concealed pit. As the invaders follow blindly, defenders strike from hidden positions, pinning them against barricades and snowdrifts. Panic intensifies as attackers realize the village is no longer a passive target, it is an active predator. Amid the chaos, the leader of the invaders attempts to rally his remaining men. He moves quickly, issuing orders, but his visibility is limited and his confidence wavers. A veteran signals a group hidden along a frozen slope, and as the leader crosses the snow-laden street, they close in silently from multiple directions. He is surrounded within seconds, weapons knocked aside, and captured before he can retaliate. The capture of their leader shatters the invaders' morale. Confusion spreads instantly. Some try to flee into the blizzard, others hide behind collapsed barricades. Desperate and unsure, the veterans press their advantage, using snow, terrain, and psychological pressure to control the remaining enemies. In narrow alleys and behind houses, skirmishes continue. Defenders strike swiftly and retreat, avoiding prolonged fights. Wearing the attackers down, improvised weapons, strategic positioning, and relentless coordination amplified their effectiveness, turning fear into a weapon against the intruders. By the end of the night, the surviving invaders are scattered, demoralized, and broken. Their plans in ruins, the veterans regroup, surveying the streets for stragglers, and prepare for the final push, expelling the last remnants of the intruders and reclaiming the village entirely. The capture of the leader signals not only a tactical victory but a turning point in the battle for Frostvikl. The remaining intruders freeze at the sight of their leader bound, realizing the precariousness of their situation. The veterans do not move to kill. Instead, they approach carefully, weapons held but steady, eyes fixed on the man who orchestrated their intrusion. There is no hatred in their gaze, only control, experience, and the clear message that the village will not be taken. A veteran steps forward, speaking in calm but firm tones. He lays out the terms. If the intruders leave their weapons behind and accept their defeat, they will be allowed to leave Frostvikl alive. The snow seems to still around them, the storm fading into silence as the message sinks in. Hesitation spreads among the remaining attackers. Fear replaces arrogance. Uncertainty replaces aggression. The captured leader looks around at his men, seeing exhaustion, injuries, and the futility of further resistance. He knows that continuing the fight will only lead to death or capture. After a tense moment, he nods, giving the command the veterans were waiting for. All remaining attackers drop their weapons into the snow, surrendering completely to the villagers' control. The veterans release their hold on the leader, standing back but keeping a vigilant watch as the intruders collect themselves. The surrender is complete. The intruders are alive, but defeated, humbled, and at the mercy of those they underestimated. Frostvikl has endured, its residents united by fear, courage, and strategy. As the intruders retreat toward the snow-covered hills, guided and monitored by the veterans, the village slowly returns to normal. Doors are repaired, families gather inside, and the first faint signs of warmth return as fires are rekindled. The storm remains, but the danger has passed. The veterans, still standing watch, share silent glances of relief and understanding. Their experience, calm judgment, and restraint ensured the survival of Frostvikl without unnecessary bloodshed. The village has not only survived but reclaimed its dignity. Dawn breaks over Frostvikl, and the snow-strewn streets are finally still. The storm has passed, leaving only the echoes of the night's chaos. The villagers, exhausted but alive, begin to emerge from their homes, inspecting the damage and comforting one another. The 5 veterans, standing silently amidst the wreckage, know that the survival of Frostvikl was not a matter of luck, but of strategy. courage, and unshakable resolve. Every trap, every calculated movement, every act of coordination had turned the tide against invaders, who thought the village would fall easily. The captured leader and his men are gone, their retreat a testament to the veterans' wisdom and restraint. Frostvikl has endured without unnecessary bloodshed, a small but decisive victory forged in the bitter cold, snow, and fear. The villagers, once ordinary people and tested by war, now carry the memory of a night when ordinary courage met extraordinary danger. The village stands intact, a testament to human ingenuity and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more battles, strategies, and real-life survival tactics, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling us what would you do if your home was under attack by armed strangers.